What was the largest battle in the Pacific theater during World War II? This question takes us back to the Pacific War, the largest theater of World War II, spanning the vast expanse of Eastern Asia, the Pacific Ocean, the Indian Ocean, and Oceania. The key participants in this colossal conflict included powerful nations like China, the United States, and the British Empire on the Allied side, and formidable forces like Japan, Thailand, Germany, and Italy on the Axis side. The Pacific War began with Japan's invasion of Manchuria in 1931 and escalated significantly with the Marco Polo Bridge incident in 1937. The escalation of the Pacific War was marked by a series of strategic moves and horrific events. Japan, eager to expand its territories, seized control of Shanghai and Nanjing. These weren't mere territorial conquests. The capture of Nanjing in particular was marred by an appalling event now known as the Nanjing Massacre. Thousands of innocent lives were lost in a spree of violence and terror. Amidst the chaos, an unlikely alliance was born. The Nationalist Party and Chinese Communists, two factions that had been at odds, came together to resist the Japanese onslaught. This alliance wasn't merely a marriage of convenience. It was a testament to the dire circumstances that had forced erstwhile enemies to unite for a common cause. Their alliance was bolstered by support from another global powerhouse, the Soviet Union. As these events unfolded in the East, a storm was brewing in the West. The United States and the British Empire, observing the escalating conflict, were gearing up for their own entrance into the fray. Meanwhile, the United States and British Empire were preparing to join the fight. December 7, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, marked the entry of the United States into the Pacific War. On this fateful day, the tranquility of Pearl Harbor was shattered by a surprise attack from the Japanese forces. The devastation was immense, the losses heartbreaking. The United States, which had hitherto maintained a stance of neutrality, found itself thrust into the heart of the conflict. This event served as a rallying cry for the Allies, unifying nations under the banner of freedom and justice. The United States joined forces with the British Empire and China, setting in motion a series of events that would forever alter the course of history. The Allies employed a strategic masterstroke, known as island hopping. This involved capturing key islands, one after another, effectively cutting off Japanese supply lines, and gradually pushing back their forces. Each island served as a stepping stone, bringing the Allies closer to Japan's doorstep. A war of such magnitude was bound to be fraught with challenges, yet the Allies persevered, their resolve unbroken, their spirits undeterred. With every island claimed, they were creating a pathway to victory, inching ever closer to the heart of the Japanese Empire. The stage was set for some of the largest battles in human history. The Battle of Leyte Gulf, the culmination of the Pacific War, and the largest naval battle in history. This colossal confrontation took place in the waters of the Philippines in October 1944, a testament to the scale and intensity of the Pacific War. The Battle of Leyte Gulf involved several hundred ships and thousands of aircraft from the United States, Australia, and Japan. The stakes were high, with both sides employing their most daring strategies. The Allies, led by the United States, aimed to liberate the Philippines from Japanese occupation. Meanwhile, the Japanese sought to defend their territorial gains at all costs. The Allied forces used their overwhelming naval and air power to their advantage. The Japanese, on the other hand, put into action their plan called Shogo, a risky four-pronged attack aimed at disrupting the Allies' landing operations. Despite their best efforts, the Japanese Navy was decimated. The battle saw the first organized use of kamikaze attacks by the Japanese, a desperate tactic that underscored the dire situation Japan found itself in. Yet, despite the havoc these suicide attacks wrought, they couldn't turn the tide of the battle. In the aftermath, the Japanese Navy was left virtually powerless, with many of its key vessels sunk and its air power significantly diminished. The Allies had won a decisive victory, paving the way for the eventual liberation of the Philippines and setting the stage for the final phases of the war. This battle was a clear demonstration of the shift in power in the Pacific. The Japanese, once seemingly invincible, were now on the defensive. The Allies, despite heavy losses, were pushing forward, confident in their impending victory. The Battle of Leyte Gulf marked a turning point in the Pacific War, setting the stage for Japan's eventual surrender. This monumental battle not only changed the course of the war, but it also profoundly impacted the course of world history. The Pacific War ended with Japan's surrender on August 15, 1945, but the impact of this conflict was far-reaching. The war's end saw the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, two events that forever underscored the devastating potential of nuclear weaponry. Japan, once a formidable empire, was now occupied by the Allies, its sovereignty significantly curtailed. Japan also lost its territories, with the Allies dismantling its empire. This reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the Pacific, as new nations emerged and old ones regained their independence. The war also marked the beginning of the Cold War, as tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union, erstwhile allies, began to escalate. The human cost of the Pacific War was also profound. Millions of lives were lost, cities lay in ruins, and countless individuals were left to grapple with the physical and emotional scars of the conflict. This war was a stark reminder of the destructive power of global conflict, a lesson that still resonates today. The Pacific War was a conflict of epic proportions, and its consequences continue to shape our world today.